What are the things we're going to do today? We're going to introduce yourself to somebody you don't know. Please. Okay, I know you came with your friends and that's great, but introduce yourself to somebody you don't know because sometimes your friends might not want to come and you might really need to see our program because it's so awesome. Right? So you need more than just your tiny group of friends, which is great. I'm glad you bring your friends. That's cool. But meet somebody new. Remember to wear your name badge. And if you forgot your name badge, like I forget my name badge all the time, we've got some temporary name tags over there. So please silence your phone because I would love to talk to you about your ringtone later. But right now, I don't want to really hear your ringtone, which is cool. Also, please respect the speakers. Again, I know you came with your friends and you want to chat with your friends, but everybody here is working for free. And if everybody is talking in the back, then maybe somebody who really wants to hear the program can't hear the program. Okay? So please respect the speaker because, you know, we're all volunteers here. Why are we here? The purpose of this organization shall be to promote interest and skill in knitting, to encourage high standards of quality and workmanship, and to encourage the use of those skills for the benefit of others. We read that every time because it's that important. That is why we're here. A few announcements. The newsletter deadline this month is May 26th. And remember, it's in red up there because every one of you can contribute an article for the newsletter. And you know what? If you do, it makes it more interesting. I'm looking at you because you're looking at me. It makes it more interesting because, you know, everybody has cool stories, and if you don't share them, then they're not that cool, right? It's more cool if you share them. Send your submissions, just go ahead and email them right to Sarah, and if you put newsletter in the subject line, that'll help her find it better. We, as we usually do, we have a lovely array of yarn in the back for knitting charity projects, okay? It's not kind of cool to take it and go knit something for yourself. This is for charity, please. That's what it's donated for. It's not for private projects. Member news. It was posted on Facebook, I think Tony posted it, that Peggy Dishin's husband passed away. I looked on the membership list and I don't think she's a member right now, but she has been a member for many years, so I'm sure a lot of you know her. That was the only news I had. Does anybody else have any, hopefully some cheerier news, like somebody's kid got married or something?
My son got married.
Yay!
And he got married on May the 4th. Yes.
Wow.
May the 4th be with him then.
Yes, that is a theme.
That is very awesome.
Mary, some maybe remember Mary and Rose Altmiller.
Yes, Mary and Rose Altmiller.
Rose just became a full-fledged doctor.
Rose just became a full-fledged doctor. So if you don't remember, we had Rose and Mary and Rose Altmiller. And it was a grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. And she was maybe 18 years old when she joined the guild. They all were in the guild together. And the older Rose passed away some years ago now. And Mary now travels a lot, so she doesn't make it here a lot. But her daughter was in the guild for many years, and now she's
A medical doctor.
That is right. I saw that on Facebook, and I didn't think to add it in.
Until she learned how to stitch people up.
I don't think the mattress stitch will work.
You never know. I mean, you know, the first time I looked at how doctors stitch people up, I'm like, really? You couldn't do better than that? Yes.
I want to announce I have a new grandson.
You have a
Born March 26th, and his name is Asher.
Asher. Awesome. There's an Asher in our family too. That's a popular name now. It's one of those you never heard forever, and then now everybody's using it. Congratulations from all of us. We're happy to hear that. Anything else? Good, because you know it seems like we always talk about deaths and we never hear about the good stuff. So that's great.
Kathy's husband's on the mend. That's good.
That's good. That's good. And May's husband is on the mend.
just love your picture.
Oops, and I'm going the wrong way on my thing here. Okay, anything else? A few more announcements. We have a new local yarn shop. Yay! This one's Fiber Threads and Needle Crafts. It's in,
Shiloh.
yeah, Shiloh. And I looked because I thought, wow, can I take the Metrolink and like get off and be at a yarn shop? And the answer is no. It's about an hour walk. So maybe if you take, yeah, it's like an hour, that's what Google told me, that it was like an hour. So, and Google's never wrong, is it?
Not enough weather.
But it looked, yeah, it looked like it was, I don't think it would take me a whole hour, especially if I take my dogs, they drag me faster. But it's a pretty good hike. Yeah, drive your car.
We also have a new yarn store in Florissant.
That's my next slide. Called Creators Corner. It's in Florissant on Rue St. Francis. We say St. Francis there, it's not Francois. I mean, it's supposed to be Francois, but we're in St. Louis.
Saint Francois.
Rue St. Francois, okay? And that looks like a neat place too. And it's closer than Shiloh. You don't have to drive as nearly as, well, it depends what part of town you're in. For some of us, John, it might be closer to go to Shiloh than to Florissant.
Probably closer to Florissant.
Probably still closer to Florissant, okay.
It's small but mighty.
I was trying to make it be even here.
So hard.
Just repeating a couple of things from the TKGA to make sure, because we don't have everybody show up every week. They have a design contest at the TKGA, and we are a member guild at the TKGA. And in fact, I think a lot of what John is showing today comes from a TKGA conference. So we are a TKGA group. I like to tell you what's going on. You have to enter this by October 1st, and it's a cowl. Everybody can make a cowl, right? So if you've got a favorite pattern for a cowl and you made it yourself, because you can't steal somebody else's and submit it, you got to make your own, okay? But if you have a great pattern for a cowl, you can submit it, and they probably have some kind of fabulous prize, I'm not sure what. If nothing else, you get to say, hey, I won the TKGA pattern contest, which would be significant. There is also a conference with Vogue Knitting. Vogue Knitting is just kind of fun. They used to have ginormous conferences, and then COVID hit, and they backed down a little bit, but I think they're building back up again. And they are having, in Sun River, Oregon, on September 21st through 24th, they're going to have a Vogue Knitting event. So if you have family in Oregon that you can stay with, or if you just want to go to Oregon, that might be a good place to go. They'll have a lot of yarn. And Alice, you were going to talk about the Midwest Fiber Festival? And do you want this?
No, I'm gonna yell.
She doesn't want this.
Thank you all for whoever helped, whoever stopped by to visit and hang out and give moral support. We had lots of hiccups with yarn winding, but we survived. We made $145, so that's pretty good, you know. But thank you again for anybody who stopped by and stuff. Because I looked up at one point, I was sitting out in the middle, and it was just kind of cute, where all of a sudden the booth is full of ladies, and they're just all talking, and some are winding, and it was just really lovely. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think I was bad luck. When I showed up, all the yarn started to get tangled up on Swift. You should have just sent me home right at the start. John and I had one that we had to tag team to get it,
Yeah, a lot of times it was
tangled. Yeah. Well, it's easier, if you get it tangled, it's easier for two people, one to shake and the other one to, you've all done it. So. And you had, yes, can you tell us about the shirts, please?
Sure. I want to thank everybody in the guild that are helping us participate in the Knit for Kids sweaters. We've set 47 sweaters since like Christmas time. So there's more than 50 because, and I picked up 5 more today. So we're really doing well. Nancy, who started this, she was looking at the table full of them. I picked up 11 last guild meeting, and she's like, my mother would be so thrilled. So she probably make that many in a minute. But she's watching us, I know she's watching us, and she's given us all our support, and we just really appreciate your help, because we'd be a long time getting to our goal without your help, and they're all key. So thank you all for helping us, and
Well, thanks
And we'll keep going.
for getting them and taking care of them all for us. Appreciate it so much.
thank you, ladies.
Okay, so the minutes from the last meeting were in the newsletter. Does anybody have any changes to those minutes? Would anybody like to move to approve the minutes? Oh, thank you, Sarah. Sarah, would anybody like to second that motion? Oh, we've got a couple of hands back there.
Second.
Okay. And also the treasurer's report was in the newsletter. Does anybody have any questions? That will be submitted for audit. And I want to give you guys a heads up, because next newsletter, when it comes out, you're going to see that the treasurer's report is abbreviated. There was a problem. It had nothing to do with anybody here. Everybody here did everything right to turn over the bank account. The bank did not make all the proper changes in their system. So when we went to try to do things, they're like, who are you and why are you trying to do things in our bank? And it's all right, because, you know, Pam went to the bank and she straightened them out.
Sure she did.
I'm glad she didn't have to straighten me out, that's all I gotta say. When she gets mad, I mean, she's not here, so I'm teasing, but yeah. Teasing. So when you see it, it's gonna look really thin, because there was very little we could do. But we did what we could do, and it'll all be, it comes out in the wash, because it'll be out in the next month's, in the next month's news report. Meeting space. So this meeting space costs us $120 a month, and I know we've got cash in the bank, but I would rather use that for knitting stuff. So I have made 2 changes in our upcoming meetings. This will, of course, next month we have our potluck, which is out at the Point in Baldwin. And the next 2 meetings, now since we started so late in the year, beggars can't be choosers, so I just found rooms that would accommodate 80 people, because look around you, this room is supposed to accommodate 50 people, and we're like shoehorned in here. So I went looking for only rooms that would hold 80 people at least, and these 2 were available, and I thought, well, there were a couple others available, and I thought, I want to move it around town so that it's not always, you know, if we can't be centrally located, then I want to move it around so that it can be as fair as we can get it to be. I am going to try for the Clark family branch. It opens June 1st. And I heard a rumor, I think I know when I can start reserving rooms. Right now it does not appear on room reservations. I heard a rumor that I think I know when to sneak in and try to get us a room. But the new library policy since COVID, which is kind of cool, the room is free. We get these rooms absolutely free of charge, okay? If we want them to do something special with arranging tables or something, then we have to pay for it, but it's free of charge. But, and I think this may have always been the case, and I just maybe never paid much attention to it, the library gets first crack at everything. And they can move us with 30 days notice. But they will move you someplace else. So for example, if we had space at the Clark Library, the upcoming Clark Library that's not open yet, if they needed that space, they might move us to Vanderbilt Branch for 1 meeting or something like that. Given the cost, I think that's okay. So,
I have a question.
yes.
A lot of us didn't get the Bay newsletter. Has any reason been given? Is that gonna be rectified?
It's hard when I come up.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it when I.
Oh, okay,
So,
sorry,
there were-
didn't
there
mean
were-
to jump.
There were technical issues, and the May newsletter, remember, is always on the website.
Yes, that's
So-
what I did.
Yes, well, good, I'm glad you were able to mitigate the harm, but
Yes.
yeah, we had some problems with that. So I'll let,
Mary,
yes,
can we pay to have the tables and chairs set out? It's always been a problem, like at the.
they have it set up for like a standard classroom
Oh, okay.
setup, But if, you know, and we don't know till we get there if we need to ask for more tables, but
Okay.
yeah, we can pay to get more if we need it.
Because when we were still at the headquarters, we were having to
I remember
break
that.
down things.
I remember that.
I for one am too decrepit to do that.
You are
It-
not.
The thing says that it's set up for standard, like, meeting room thing with enough chairs for however many people the room is allowed to hold by the fire department. So I don't think we have to set up chairs. Now, again, we like to use tables. And so I don't know what's up with that yet. I think we may, I mean, I can make some calls and try to find out, but I'm not sure.
I attend, several of us attend the Bransfield one monthly, and they have an open meeting where you can bring any type of needlework that you wish, right? And they're set up currently, and I have a friend that's a librarian there, in long tables.
Okay, good.
you know.
Hopefully, usually in those meeting rooms, they have, I know in the branch closest to me that I go to all the time, Bridgeton Trails, they have tables around the sides of the room, which is exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if that's how it's set up, that's great.
Ours is just a couple of long tables. you know,
Okay.
Because we don't draw 80 people, we're lucky if we get 20
Sure.
some odd, and they go down.
Sure. And, I was gonna say something else, and it'll pass me by. If I don't think about it, I'll remember it. I know, the other good thing about the library, we can bring food if we want. You know, we're not supposed to cook there, so if any of y'all were thinking about bringing your air fryer and cooking up some chicken wings, that's probably not a good idea. But if you have chicken wings already cooked, you could bring those and share them. So it's something to think about. If we don't have enough tables for our yarn, and maybe it's not the greatest thing to eat, well, we've got all these beautiful yarns around, but I'm just throwing it out there. We can eat now, so bring all the drinks you want. I mean, it used to be we were afraid to bring our water glasses, our water.
They didn't allow anything.
And yet they had soda machines in the main library. But regardless, now we can bring everything, we're just not supposed to make a mess. And if we make a mess, I'm sure that they will find a way to get the reimbursement for having to fix it.
Can you exchange money?
We cannot exchange money on the premises, but we've got our ways around that anyway. We always have PayPal, right? And we can give the website name out. All right. And I think mostly they just don't want anybody dealing drugs. You know, I think that's why the rule is there. So I think, you know, I don't think that, you know, they're not going to police us, but we need to obey the rules nonetheless. So, okay. If nobody has any other questions, if anybody does have questions, that's great because I've got more answers. I just don't know if they go with their questions. Maybe not. Okay. If not, May, do you want the lovely headband?
I don't know, can you hear me? If I speak loud enough?
Our first thing coming up is the potluck dinner luncheon. It's June 8th at the Baldwin Point. There will be a map in the newsletter again. Just as a note, if you are afraid of turning left off of Manchester, the direct one does not have a light, direct road to it. The next light, you can go around the block for it. So if you want to turn it left at a light, that's the way to do it. 10:30 is the arrival for being able to bring your dishes in and find a place to sit. There will be knitting in the public.
10:30?
11:30.
11:30.
There will be knitting in the lobby because this is also Knit in Public Day. So if you wish to bring your knitting, there are some comfortable chairs. The light's not the perfect, so don't bring your darkest yarn. There is need for some help with setup, and I have a sign-up sheet which I'm going to put on the hostess table over here. Setting up means making sure the tables have all of the things we need for getting our food. The placement of the food needs to be decided and help people find where things go. Also, we need beverage. In the past, we have had water, iced tea, and lemonade, but if you're willing to provide beverage, what's provided is up to you. This would be a way of being able to provide something for the potluck without making anything at home. So if you're interested, you can sign up for that. The knit focus is going to be scarves, 6 to 8 inches wide, up to 60 inches long. Normally what we say is height is what you should have for the length of the scarf. So if yours isn't 60 inches, we find a grade school kid that's not 60 inches tall. So something that's a little shorter is not a problem. These will be going to Covenant House, Epworth, and the Red Scarf Project.
Can we put fringe on them?
Somebody will take it with fringe, yeah, if you want to. I'm not a fond of it, but I know some people really are. The Red Scarf Project, anything that's got red in it, it does not have to be totally red. There is a website called Red Scarf Project that will give you some ideas and has some patterns. These are given to college students in February, so they are not mailed off until late November. So we can collect them beyond the potluck. Second is Founder's Day, October 12th at Andres in Fenton. The meal will begin at noon. Reservations will be available in July, $25 per person. Again, this is a good time to invite friends if you wish to have them come join us. You can sign up for more than one person on the sign-up sheets. Help will be appreciated for this in gathering or requesting raffle items. Also, we need help setting up ticket sales and cleanup. We do have some pretty good stock of raffle items already, but we need just a few more. So if you're cleaning up your stash, bring some nice yarn to us and we can redistribute it. Our charity will be Haven House. Haven House helps out people who come from outside the area for medical treatment. They come from outstate Missouri, Illinois, and around the world. Some of them come without knowing what our weather is. For example, last year they had a couple that came from Hawaii. They saw their very first snowfall while they were here. Obviously, they didn't bring gloves and hats and scarves. We also like to have something to give people for birthdays, anniversaries, and Christmas time. So just about anything goes. They also have young children who sometimes come, so they would love to have little toys. Remember that program we had about toys? There were all kinds of options from that, and we're going to have some more. So if you like to make some little toys, they would really appreciate it. Are there any questions?
Thank you for your help. Do you need,
Just a couple things. Do I need the microphone? Everybody can hear me well? Just a couple things I want to inform you about. One, Bard has agreed to do a a guided knit in over 4 or 5 sessions at a local yarn shop for his dolls. He's going to be in and out of town for most of the summer, so I was hoping to get it started in July. That's not happening. So I will need volunteers to kind of help me formulate a program for July. One thing that's way on the horizon for next April at Fiberfest, the theme is going to be history. I have invited Roxanne Richardson from Minneapolis to be part of that. She has a collection of things that she had, sweaters or pullovers that she has hand knit from 1890 to every decade to about 1990. Somewhere it's been a full century. I haven't heard back from her yet, but we have in mind that she might be able to do some classes in conjunction with Fiberfest next year with that kind of.
Well, and John, what we used to have was an education committee, a handful of people who would, and I'm trying to point the camera the right way and still look at all you so I make eye contact, people who think of interesting topics and help John by suggesting them or brainstorming with him to find them. So if a few people might be willing, maybe you can get together on a phone call or something
Anybody
and
who
talk.
has it. Obviously, anybody can send an email to info@ whatever that alphabet is. You were talking about about the alphabet soup earlier today. Just send it to that info, and my email is listed on the membership roster directory as well, so you can send it to me directly. But I welcome anybody's input, because I don't want to stand up here and talk every month and drone on, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to get bored of and it's only me. If I'm the only one thinking about things to present, it's going to be 90% socks, 0% cowls, 0%, scarves, 0%, and that's not what we're about.
Well, and John, sometimes I think people think, well, I might have ideas, but they're not good enough. And first of all, I'm going to say, how do you know that? Because it maybe is good enough. And second of all, I'm going to say, talk to John about it anyway, because it might be that whatever you're thinking of could be part of maybe a bigger topic. So maybe it's not enough to do a whole program on, but maybe it's enough to give him an idea that he could add with other ideas or something to make a good program.
Exactly. So any input, direction, guidance, anything that you want to offer, please feel free to contact me directly or at info@gslkg.com.
Very good.
Okay. That's all I have to say. So until later.
Okay, Sarah? I'll give you your chair back. I'll go back to my wandering line.
I don't know. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. That would be a no. Not much to update from a community service perspective, except keep those hats and scarves and things coming. We're up to, I think it was 344 hats out of our goal of 1,200. As Paul mentioned, we've got, a lot of great T-top sweater activity going on, so yay us. And then, of course, as May mentioned, we've got some scarf charity focuses coming up. So keep up the good work. There's some needles over in a tray on that far table back there if anybody wants to take a look. Also, there is charity yarn back there, as our president mentioned. And thanks to everybody who brought in donations today. The charity yarn was getting a little bit picked over, but we've injected it with some new stuff thanks to about 4 or 5 people who donated. So thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it for me.
All right. Yeah, there was a problem with the email. I don't know how to fix it. Basically, 36 emails bounced. With the newsletter, we send it to about 214 people. 36 of those addresses bounced. I sent out an email or a blast after that saying, you might not have gotten it, please check the website. 36 of those bounced. It was the same 36. And it's different domains, so like there was a Gmail and sbc.net, so I don't really know how to fix it. So we're going to move off of that email system and move all of the newsletter blast emails to our Squarespace website account and get off of MailChimp. MailChimp, we use it for free, and so we don't get support. So I can't even contact them to ask them how to fix it. So hopefully the next one that we send out will work. And if you don't get the newsletter email, please feel free to email me, or it's always on the website. I always post it to the website before I send out the actual blast email, so it should always be there. Hopefully the next time it will work.
Susan?
Yes?
And you might find this funny, the newsletter editor did not get the newsletter.
That's how I found out.
The president also did not get the newsletter, and neither did the editor.
So it wasn't,
So, yeah, it wasn't that we were trying to like give you a hint or anything, it was just, it didn't work.
Very random.
It's broken.
Yeah, and Sarah's the one who told me, so she texted me like, I didn't get the newsletter. I'm like, oh, let me check that. Second thing, so we have an opportunity to get a free table at an upcoming expo. It's called Geek Craft Expo. It's at Webster University at the end of July, and this is really super cool. It's not fiber arts focused. It's all kinds of things. And Sarah and I went there a couple years ago. Can't remember if it was last year or the year before.
2 years ago.
I think it was 2. But this is what I got there. This is a handmade bag
Oh my God.
with the Universal Monster posters on it.
Oh my.
So Creature, Frankenstein, Invisible Man. We love these movies at my house, and so I saw this bag and thought this is the coolest thing in the world. So there was a booth there that's like she made all kinds of beautiful handmade bags. And Sarah, was yours Lord of the Rings?
I got 2.
Yeah, that's right.
I got Lord of the Rings, it's the big map for those of you who are familiar with that. But I also got a cat bag.
That's right, that's right.
Which is cute.
So I haven't used this yet, and it came with a really cool bag, like a dust cover bag. So it's actually just been hanging in my closet because I don't want to use it because it's so cool. But they have all kinds of vendors there. One vendor, he made patches, so he made all kinds of little patches. I got one of Stan Lee, the comic creator. Another guy was selling like kitchen hand towels that were embroidered with different things. There were Lego minifigures, artwork. I got some really cool Star Wars little art. So it's really, really cool. It's probably the size, maybe a little smaller than the Midwest Fiber Fest from a number of vendor perspective, but it's all like handmade stuff and it's really super cool. So to try to get us out there into the additional craft community, I reached out to them and asked them if they had a discounted rate for non-selling booths that we can sell. And actually, if we can find a few people that are willing to help work at the expo, we get a free table. And so basically it's things like vendor, helping the people bring in their stuff from their cars, at the end of it, helping people take stuff back to their cars, during the day being a booth sitter, so if a vendor needs to go grab lunch or go to the bathroom, you just sit at their booth and wait for them to come back. Taking tickets, so I've got sign-up sheets here, and we do not need every slot filled. I just broke it into like 2-hour, 2.5-hour blocks. I think over the course of the weekend, if we could have 3, 4, 5 people, I think that's enough. And he would be very happy to give us a table for those 2 days. So it's July 27th, July 28th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I have sign-up sheets for that, but also I have sign-up sheets for actually working the guild table. So we need volunteers to help at the expo, give us our free booth, and then people at the table to just kind of stand there. We will not be doing winding. We're not doing any yarn winding. At all. So this will be just, be at the table, answer questions, tell people about the guild, why you like the guild. We'll have examples of things, so we'll set up a table for that. So please consider working that weekend. And unfortunately, I am out of town that weekend, so I'm going to need a point person to be me for that weekend to communicate with Daniel, the chairperson, because I will be out. Yes? Yes, July 27th and July 28th. And I'll put that on the website too. Let's see. It's called Geek Craft Expo. And I've got the logo here on the sign-up sheet, but it's geekcraftexpo.com. And I'll put that link on our website.
What was the location again?
Oh, it's at Webster University. It's at their gym. They have it's pretty cool. They have a lot of really neat stuff, so hopefully you guys can maybe volunteer a little bit for that. I think that's it. Any questions? Cool. All right, thanks everybody.
Okay, Pam isn't here, and I already told you all the stuff about the bank problems. Diane, we're gonna talk about membership.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Diane Wolf, and I'm one of the newer membership chairs for like the last 2 months. So this month we have 219 members.
Woo!
We got 2 new in May. I don't know if they're here or not. Tina Kelly and Kristen Knudsen. Okay. So then we got those 2, and then I do have 3 name tags. 2 of them I said I emailed and told them I wasn't going to get them. But I've got one for Debbie Rimmel, Joni Arwick, and Tina Kelly. So if Brady comes see me and you can get your name tag. That's it.
Thanks, Diane.
And now, I find my phone.
There's a folder.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Today I was pondering on my retirement, and it's been great, but I never thought I'd be so busy. I'm busy avoiding cleaning so I can knit. I'm busy avoiding dishes so I can knit. You know, my life is knitting, what can I say? It's fantastic.
Stop bragging.
The other thing I wanted to say is, if you're new and you don't know anybody, I'm offering to come and sit at my table, I guess, or sit by me and make new friends. The potluck is one of the best ways to make new friends. Carol and I, we were our own little clique for years until she broke her ankle and went to the potluck. And she came home with 7 friends. So, most of my adult friends have been made through the Guild. And it's great to be with other crazy people that get excited about yarn. Okay, so today we have 3 visitors. Herta Weber, Beth Bracken, and Debbie Wood. Welcome, and unfortunately you won't be eligible for the fabulous prizes. And this is the year of fabulous prizes. Yarn shops have given donations, and members have kindly given donations. So let's see, we have 47 people today. A little bit smaller, but that's okay. So on with the show. Mary Kelsheimer. Okay. I know you have trouble walking too. Thank you. Now, hopefully, try not to trip.
Don't trip.
I'll be there. Yes. Sandy Blassingame. Here. Wow.
Don't try to wind it.
That's wild, isn't it? Yeah. Danielle Goodman? Goodman? Okay. And ta-da-ta-da! A really fabulous prize donated by Yarn Co. Sarah Feiberger.
Just gonna lean over Alice in case she
Okay.
gets any funny.
I'm going to give you these 2 also.
Oh, the sign-in sheets, right?
Yes.
Here's this.
Okay.
That was.
See you at the potluck.
Thank you, Tony. Show and share. Show and share. I know I saw one form filled out.
Right there.
Is this it? Is May the only show and share person?
It's little, but it was a class at the Fiber Fest, Midwest Fiber Festival. This is from Gloria Penning. I remembered her from a program we had at the library headquarters years ago. And they had the big ones, like 2 and 3 feet across. They were starched enough that when they showed them, they put them on the wall and they stuck. Oh, wow. Now, the interesting thing is, I asked for these, we have all of her books in the Knitters Guild library that Sarah keeps hold of. So we have all of them here. She was trying to, her daughter is trying to keep the name and the items that she had made in the forefront of people. In, I believe, Columbia, there's a museum that has several of her things. But this came from one of these books. And if you wanted these books, they were $15 a piece. So having them in the library, if you want to make something, this is a good time to try it, is to borrow one or all of the books and select something from it.
Anyone else? have a bunch of shy people now. Okay, we're gonna take a 10-minute break. The program when we come back is gonna be next level knitting hacks. And first, since I'm gonna not be up here anymore, I'm gonna thank everybody for coming and ask you to thank all the volunteers that are making all of this work, because nobody here is getting paid for that.